Hello, welcome to our self-portrait art video. We are going to be doing this art video, this art lesson in celebration of the 100th day of school. We are going to be combining a writing assignment with this art project, and the theme is time capsule. So we're going to be creating our own time capsule, theoretically speaking. We're not actually going to be creating a time capsule. We are going to be creating it in spirit, I guess you could say. So if you don't know what a time capsule is something that it's like a box that you put a bunch of stuff in that represents something. And then you bury that box in the hopes that somebody in the future will dig it up. And so our time capsule is going to be representative of ourselves and life as a sixth grader in 2020-2021. So within your time capsule, you are going to be including this self-portrait in your writing. And your writing is going to describe life as it is as a sixth grader in the year 2020-2021. Normally in a time capsule, you would put items, you would put objects inside of it. This, like I said, this is we're not actually going to be burying anything, but we're going to pretend like we're going to be creating a time capsule. And in 100 years, the people who live in our area in 100 years would theoretically dig up the time capsule to learn about us. So we today are going to be doing a self-portrait. Joey has done his already. I have done an example of mine. So here's Joey's wearing his most coveted North Coast shirt. Here is mine right here. And what I had asked Maestro Grimaldo to do was to put on Google Classroom a little short tutorial that Joey and I used in order to learn how to create a self-portrait. So the goal is for you to have viewed that tutorial. It was less than 10 minutes long. It was really quick. And today we are going to be going through that more slowly together, creating our self-portrait. If you felt like you wanted to do your self-portrait while you were watching that tutorial and you did, awesome. I would like that to be your practice and today for it to be your actual self-portrait, okay? So these are the materials you are going to need. You are going to need some colored pencils. You are going to need an actual drawing pencil, an eraser, okay? You are going to need a piece of warm-up paper and the small piece of construction paper that I put in to your material pickup. So if you look here, I want you to make sure that you grab the right piece of papers. The copy paper, which is the bigger one, that's just like a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that would go in your binder. The other one is a thicker piece of construction paper, but look at how it's cropped. It's a lot smaller. So if you will, just to double check and make sure, get your ruler out that was handed out, your Saving Water Saves Energy ruler, and you can measure it by inches, putting the inch tick right here and going all the way across, and it should measure 8 inches going across, and going down it should measure 10 inches. So go ahead and practice these math skills right here of measurement. It's 10 inches going, let me move this one. It's 10 inches going down this way for me. 10 inches, you can see it right here. My surface area is smaller than 10 inches. Here's 10 inches, and then it is 8 inches going across, okay? 8 by 10. Then you have your warm-up piece of paper that's more flimsy, okay? So go grab those. If by chance you can't find your construction paper that's 8 by 10, I want you to create one using a piece of warm-up paper. You have been given plenty throughout the year. Go ahead and grab a piece of warm-up paper, and I want you to measure, and I'd like you to cut. And the way you could do that is because these are going to go in our portfolio, and I'm going to do it a particular way. So what I want you to do is I want you to measure 8 inches going over here, and you put a little dot. You measure 8 inches over here, and you put a little dot. You're only doing this if you do not have your pre-cut, if you don't have your pre-cut construction paper that's 8 by 10. and you do a third measurement going over here. That's 8 inches. And then you can take your ruler and you can connect all 3 of your dots with a straight line like that. And then grab some scissors and cut that really nice and straight. If you need to rewind the video to watch me measure and draw that line again, rewind, get scissors and cut. And then the other length that you're going to be doing, so we did 8 inches this way and then 10 inches this way. You can go 10 inches up here and do a dot. Measure, come down about halfway down the paper, measure 10 inches again with a dot. And the last one, measure 10 inches with a dot. Grab your ruler and connect those 3 dots to make your line like this. And now you have your lines for cropping. You can go get scissors and crop them, okay? Hopefully you already had your other piece of construction paper that was pre-cut. If not, go ahead and do this. If you need to rewind, rewind. Otherwise, we're gonna get started. So grab your materials and we're going to start, just to give you an idea again, self-portrait of Joey's, self-portrait of mine, okay? Also, it might help if you have like a little handheld mirror where you want to look at your face, or if you have a selfie on a device in your home that you can have near you to look at yourself while you are doing this, that can be helpful too. So go grab those things if you'd like. And now we're going to get started. So you are going to take your warm-up paper. I obviously have mine here that I showed you how to crop. I'm going to turn it over and we're just going to do some practice, okay? So I'm going to fold my paper in half and we are going to do, we're going to practice the shape of a head. So the shape of a head is oval, but to start, just like that tutorial said, you're going to draw a circle first. So draw a circle first, okay? And then you're going to draw, I'm going to do that a little bit darker so you can see. You draw a circle first, right? And then you're going to draw an oval around that circle, coming down like this. And the reason for having that circle in there is to make sure that your face is wide enough, okay? You don't want to do a really skinny oval. So that circle guides you to make sure that your face is wide enough for your facial features. Then you can go in and while you're doing when you're doing yours, I'd like you to draw really, really lightly. I obviously am not so that you can see it. I might switch over to draw a little bit lighter as we go on so that it's a little bit more clean. But as you can see, I've erased my circle and I have just my oval, okay? And that is a good size for a head in order to do proportions where you have your eyes, your nose, and your lips here, okay? We are going to be doing it a little bit bigger on our actual paper, but this is just our warm-up. So if you'd like to practice that again, you can flip it over. We can draw a circle to start our head, and then an oval around that, and the circle guides us so that our oval is not too thin. And then erase the circle, okay? All right, so we've practiced that twice. The next thing we're gonna practice is we're gonna practice making proportion lines, okay? So the proportion lines help guide us to where we're gonna put our facial features, our 2 eyes, our nose, and our mouth. So we're gonna draw the proportion lines by just doing right down the middle of your oval. You're gonna divide your oval in half. It's really interesting, I'm finding, doing all these art lessons, how many math words we use and concepts we use in art, okay? A lot of math vocabulary. So divide your oval in half and then divide your, the midsection of your oval in half as well. So then you have 4 pieces, 4 quadrants of your oval, okay? And this is your basic proportion lines, and then this is where the eyes are gonna be. So you can label that if you'd like. Your eyes are gonna go on this line. Then you're gonna, between your midline here and the bottom of your oval, you're gonna divide it in half again, and that's where your nose is gonna go. And between your nose line and the bottom of your oval, you're going to do another line in half between there, and that's where your lips are going to go, okay? So this is just practicing proportion lines, okay? Now what we're going to do is we are going to practice doing some eyes. So I want you to open up your warm-up paper, and we are going to practice drawing eyes. So we're going to start with, and these can just be floating anywhere on your paper. We're going to start with a circle. And that first circle is your iris. It's the colorful part of your eye. Like mine is blue, Joey's is like a greenish brown. Draw that circle part for your eye, and then you're going to do a circle for the pupil. Right in the middle, the black part of your eye, okay? Next, you're going to do an almond or a football shape for your eyelids. So, or not your eyelids, the shape of your eye. Okay? An almond or a football shape. And then you're going to do a little circle for your tear duct right there. And then you can add an eyelid that goes right above it. And to finish it off, you can do some eyelashes. Okay? And this was going to be my right eye because I put my tear duct right here. You can even, if you'd like, you can even sketch in some eyebrows. Okay? So if you need to, if you'd like to practice one more time, pause the video, go ahead and practice one more time. We're just warming up, okay? So you have this whole area to practice eyes, okay? Next, go ahead and flip it over. We still have one panel left. And we can divide that in half, and we can do a nose on this side and a mouth on this side, okay? So for our nose, we're gonna start with a big circle. And then you're gonna do circles on either side, 2 circles, and they can overlap like that. Okay, so you have a big circle, and then those tiny circles right there, and that guides where our nostrils are gonna be. So you do an upside down U over here, and an upside down U over here. And that's where our nostrils start. And then parentheses, and this is kind of the shape of our nose, like that. All right, and then you can just kind of start sketching it in, and you can go around like this, like this. You can start erasing some of the lines and clean it up. And then you can have the line going up the bridge of your nose like this to where your eyes are gonna meet. We're just sketching right now. So that's just a basic nose, okay? If you feel like you'd like to practice doing another nose, pause the video, go ahead and do another nose over here, pause the video again, do another nose over here. You can do, 3 or 4, maybe even up to 6 noses in this section right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to you, okay? So go ahead and practice until you're comfortable with a nose. I would say for Joey and myself, that was the hardest part of drawing ours. That was the point of the most frustration for us. Okay, next we're gonna practice drawing the mouth. So we're gonna start the mouth by doing a long line. Okay, and then we're gonna do a short line underneath it. And up on that long line, we're gonna do a V shape right in the middle. So you can use the short line to guide you up to the middle of the long line as well. And we're just gonna do a V shape right here, like that. Then we're gonna connect the V shape, kind of curve it down and connect it to the corner of our mouth here. And the same on the other side. And they should be pretty symmetrical, be about the same size. And then we're gonna finish off our lips by just coming down and connecting to that lower line and then coming back up. So those are some lips. My lower lip just so happened to be a little bit bigger than my upper lips here. You kind of have to look at your lips to see which one is bigger than the other or if they're the same size. Just kind of try to make it what your lips look like. You can practice down here and up here, pause the video and just practice again if you'd like. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and get started, okay? So we have practiced the most important part. So we've practiced drawing our oval, starting with a circle for our head. We've practiced drawing the proportion lines for our eyes, our nose, and our lips. We have practiced drawing an eye. You might have done a couple other eyes. We practiced drawing a nose, and we practiced drawing lips. The last part obviously would be to add hair and ears if your ears are showing from your hair. If your hair is not covering your ears. So depending on the length of your hair. So what I'd like you to do now is put your warm-up paper to the side. If I am kind of going a little fast, we're only 15 minutes in and we're ready to start. Take your time, pause the video at any point for whatever you need to do, okay? You'll notice here the papers that I used for myself and Joey, I had some different tones of paper at home, and I went ahead and I picked my skin tone that I felt was mine, and Joey picked his skin tone that he felt was his. Unfortunately, in the situation we're in, I'm not able to visually or physically allow you to pick your skin tone color this time around, so I gave everyone white. And what we're going to be doing is using color pencils to color in. So not only, obviously here you see that Joey colored in his facial features and then he colored in his shirt, you will be able to color in your skin colors as well, okay? So go ahead and grab your white paper. It should be facing portrait size, just like this, how we always do it, right? Portrait, because we're doing a self-portrait. So we have it portrait, not landscape. We have it portrait, right? But before we start, I want you to write your name on the back, please. Nice and neatly so I can read it, your teacher can read it, and then flip it over. And we are going to go ahead and get started on this one right here. Okay, so we're gonna start with the head, which is an oval shape, but we're gonna first start with a circle, and we're gonna come down the paper about right here. We need room for our hair, but we're gonna come down to about right here. I would say, you know, 1, 2 thumbs, 2 thumbs worth of your, maybe 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 thumb knuckles. No, I'm gonna take that back. Let's do 2. 1, about 2 thumb knuckles, okay? And you're gonna do a circle, and you're sketching very lightly now. Now we're gonna go super light. We're gonna be doing a lot of erasing when needed, okay? So here's our circle to start with. And then you're gonna do an oval. I put it pretty much in the center of the paper. Then you're gonna do an oval. The circle's gonna guide you, and you're gonna do an oval for your face. Okay, then you're going to take your eraser and you're going to erase the circle inside your oval. We're all done with that. When you're doing self-portraits, there's a lot of sketching going on, so you need to have your handy dandy eraser with you, and you need to be drawing super lightly. Okay, now going back to those math terms, we've been using math terms a lot. Like I said, we're going to draw proportion lines. We're going to quarter our oval, okay? And the proportion lines are really important. These are lines that are like a map. Just like the video said, they tell us where to put our facial features on our face to make them look accurate and in the right place. And I don't know if you remember, but the video said that our eyes, really, when you look at our face, when you look in the mirror, our eyes are about halfway down our face. Even though they feel like they're way up high on us, they're really not. They're about halfway down our face. So we're going to draw a line that divides the oval in half going down, and we're going to do it really nice and lightly. These are proportion lines that we will be erasing. And then we're going to draw a line that divides the oval in half going lengthways or lengthwise. Now we have our 4 sections there. And next, so this is our, you don't need to write this, but this is the eye line. Okay, that's where your eyes are gonna go. Don't bother writing it. I'm gonna erase it actually. I'll keep this up to the side, okay? So that's our eye line. Let me write it darker. Eyes, nose, lips, okay? Those are what those lines represent. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my nose line. So I'm gonna take my line from my half line here and the bottom of my oval, and I'm gonna divide that in half, and that's gonna be where my nose is gonna land. And then I'm gonna take where my nose line is and the bottom of my oval, and I'm gonna go in half, and that's where my lips are gonna begin. That's where the bottom of my lips are gonna be. Okay? So next we're gonna start with our eyes. And what we wanna do is we wanna bring our eyes right in the center of this area right here. So you can even draw little, that would be a really big eye. You can draw like little hash marks for right in the center. That's about where your eye's gonna be. You can do it here too. Right in the center, okay? And we're gonna start by doing our, the first circle, which is gonna be the iris, the colorful part of your eye. So you're gonna put that right on the line. Right on the line. Okay, I'm gonna show you here. Here's Joey's. Gosh, I'm feeling, now that I'm looking at Joey's, I'm feeling like maybe my eyes need to be a little bit bigger. The irises. You have to make this decision for yourself, okay? How big you want them. Okay, and now we're gonna do the irises, the pupils, excuse me, in the middle of the irises, which is just the black part. And then you're gonna either do the football shape or the almond shape that we talked about, so. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm realizing that the eye needs to come a little bit further down. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm gonna kind of go backwards myself. If you're cool with where you are, just wait, just give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna do the irises, the pupil, and now I'm gonna do the almond shape or the football shape here. The almond or the football shape here. And I have my two eyes. I tried to draw them the same size. This one's looking a little bit on the smaller side for me. You know, I might be being too picky right now, but there's nothing wrong with erasing and just doing it until you're satisfied, as long as you're drawing, you know, really lightly and the frustration is okay for you. Okay, so here I am. I'm gonna be good there. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the little tear duct circle right here in the middle, not middle, to the side that faces the nose. That's your tear duct area. And then we're gonna add a little eyelid over the top. So it curves along the shape of your eye. And then go ahead and you can add your eyelashes in. Okay, so you have your eyelashes. So now we're pretty good with our eyes. You can even add, you know, little eyelashes down low, and we're good with our eye. So we have our eyes. It's about, they're halfway down our face, and now we're gonna start with the nose. And the nose, this is the nose line, and we're gonna do the big circle right smack in the middle of the face, which intersects the proportion line coming down. It's on both sides, and then it's sitting on top of our nose line. Then we're gonna do 2 circles on each side, 1 on each side. And then we're gonna do a U underneath those 2 circles. And then we're gonna do parentheses on the outside, and that makes our nostrils and the tip of our nose. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean it up by kind of just blending it all together, kind of just sketching it all together. We can take our eraser and we can start erasing some of those circular lines that are connecting on the inside here. We can kind of clean up and you start erasing a little bit of the proportion line that runs down our nose, through our nose. And then you could just keep going through and sketching around. Okay, So that's the tip of our nose, and then we can run the bridge of our nose up our face like this. We're running it up our face until we reach our eyes, and that's the bridge of our nose. Okay, so you can play with this for a little while. Press the pause button. Just, you know, going over what I said before, this was probably the greatest point of frustration for myself and Joey when we were doing the tutorial that you guys watched. We found ourselves going off to the side, to one side. We were leaning towards one side. We weren't quite in the middle, so we did it. We had to do ours a couple times. So if you need to erase, resketch, that's totally fine, okay? So just do it and try to look at yourself in the mirror, try to look at yourself in a selfie and see, you know, how big is your nose, and try to emulate what your actual nose looks like, okay? All right, we are ready to start the lips. And so the lips, or the mouth, like we did here in our practice, we are going to start with these two basic lines, a short line and a top line, or a long line. The short line is going to go right on our mouth line, and the bigger line is going to go, or the longer line is going to go above that, okay? Next, we're going to do a V, just like that, a V, and then we're going to connect our V down to where our mouth, the corners of our mouths, okay? Awesome. So we got our upper lip. Your upper lip might be really full and voluptuous, and you want to make that a bigger arch. Your lips might be a little bit more on the thin side. Mine are more on the thin side. So you can make them a little bit smaller. So see what I did with mine here? They're a little bit more on the thin side. And then you're going to come down and do your lower lip. You're going to connect that corner of your mouth down to that shorter line, and then you're going to bring it back up. Okay, and then you can go ahead and erase the edginess that we've created by having that line. You can kind of erase that and make it a little bit more smooth. Okay, so we have our main facial features. We have our eyes, our eyes, our nose, our mouth. You can come in now and you can start doing the rest of the facial features that we have. For instance, you can, oh, before that, excuse me, we're gonna erase our proportion lines because we're all done strategizing, right? Where our facial features are going. So go ahead and come in with your eraser and gently erase your proportion lines. That might mean you're erasing some of what you've drawn, and that's okay. You can sketch it back in. So I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna erase my proportion lines. By the way, I don't know if you guys remember, in 3rd grade you guys did some self-portraits using these same strategies. I just didn't teach it. But they should be in your portfolio, your 3rd grade portfolio. Okay, so I can come up and bring the bridge of my nose in a little bit more. Draw it in a little bit. Okay, so there's the bridge of my nose. And now I can do some more fine detail. I can do my eyebrows. And with the eyebrows, what you're gonna wanna do is just short strokes for the eyebrows. Going across, look at your eyebrows, see how they lay. I'm just doing little short strokes because later on I'm gonna come in with a color pencil and I'm gonna add in the color of my eyebrows, okay? Your eyebrows might be really thin, your eyebrows might be really bushy. Whatever your beautiful eyebrows are, try to draw those in. Mine are a little bit on the thin side. So I just made mine a little bit thin, just short strokes. Okay, looking like hair. And then I'm gonna come in with my color pencils and really make those more the color of my actual eyebrows. Okay, then what we're gonna do is, if you have short hair and your ears show if you're gonna be having your ears show, I should say, in your self-portrait, now is the time to draw on your ears. Your ears are right by the sides of your eyes. So you can come in and you can draw your ears if you're gonna have ears. You can come in over here. Just make sure you're balancing that on either side. Perhaps I should have kept the proportion lines in, sorry. Okay, so if you have ears, you can sketch your ears in. And now we're gonna start with the hair. So we're gonna be coming down our this is our forehead right here. To get your hair in, it's gonna be coming down your head. My part, actually, I have a part in my hair when I wear my hair down, and it's more off to the side. So I'm gonna come with my part, and then I'm gonna swoop my hair down the way it comes down. So as we're building in hair, what we want to do is do just the general shape of the hair and use lots of lines and shading. I highly recommend hopping back on that YouTube tutorial and going all the way to the very end of it, like the last 2 or 3 minutes, and watch how she does the hair. She did a really good job explaining how to do long hair and how to do short hair. So if that helps you, pause this video and go on back to that other tutorial and follow her for the hair. I'm just gonna keep going. My hair comes down like this. My ears are hidden by my hair when I wear my hair down. So this is just a lot of lines coming down is what we're doing now. We're just filling in our hair, going in all different direction, because our hair really does just kind of fly all over the place, right? It's not like a perfectly straight line down or straight lines across. So now I'm just doing some strokes coming down. I'm gonna add, you know, I can even have some hair coming up even more in the back over there. Like I said, it helps to look at a picture of yourself to see how your hair goes. And then you can draw in your neck. Make your neck kind of, I would kind of follow your lips. Go to the outside of your lips. And then you can do, you know, your shoulders coming out and down, and whatever, maybe one of your favorite t-shirts. So I really used the whole width of my paper for my body. I came down my neck, and my shoulders came about, you know, a ½ an inch away from the edge of my paper over here. Same over here, about a ½ of an inch. Here's Joey's. It's a little bit further. It's a little bit more but he's also a lot tinier than I am. So I did mine a little bit bigger. I can give myself a V-neck. I can give myself a collar. I can give myself just a crew cut neck, whatever you want to do for your shirt, okay? Let me think if there's anything else before we add the color. I think we're good on this. I'm noticing that even though I had you guys come down like 2 thumbs down, it's a little bit further down than I thought it was gonna be, but it's totally fine the way it is. If you were a little bit further up, that's fine. If you are feeling like your self-portrait came down a little bit too far and you didn't have room for your neck or your clothes, you can always flip it over, erase your name, and draw another one, and then put your name on the side that you don't want to use, or put your name and then write, you know, practice. Like if this is your practice side, if this was my practice side, I would write Amy, and then I would write practice picture or practice self-portrait, so that I know which one you want to have in your portfolio, okay? So feel free to do this whole thing all over again on the back if you'd like, and then pick the one you like, but I just need to know which one, okay? Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start adding color. So you can continue like filling in with your pencil, or doing whatever you'd like to do with your color, with your pencil before you, and your eraser before you start doing your coloring in, okay? So you can start, I usually start with eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and color in my eyes. My eyes are blue. Oh, that's a really dark blue. My eyes are a little bit lighter. So I can come in with blue and I'm just going to start coloring in my facial features. So here I have blue, and then I can get my black for my pupil right here. And I can just start coloring everything in. I can outline my eyes. I can do my tear duct, the pupils of my the whites of my eyes if we're going to stay white. I can add in my eyelashes. And then I can just keep coloring it in until I'm satisfied with how everything looks. You can use any types of colors for your skin. You can color in whatever skin color represents your skin, depending on what you have in your color pencils, okay? So I have a box of 24 and it comes with all these different colors, okay? So go ahead and just start coloring it in until you're satisfied with the way everything looks. Okay, so I'm just kind of doing my eyebrows here. It's just short little strokes. Okay. And I can do my lips, my hair, I can color it all in, and in the end, it's gonna look something like this, okay? So I really want you to take the time to define everything. I used gray and I used browns and tans in order to really fill in my outline for my nose and the shape of my face. I used a soft pink to outline my lips. I used black to do my eyes. I used a brown to do my hair. I colored in my shirt. So I really want you to take the time to color in your entire self-portrait using color pencils if you have them. If you don't have them and you want to do crayons, you can. It's a little bit more tricky with crayons. Or if you choose to just leave it all in pencil, you can do a lot of shading and you could just do a lot of lines and shading in order to just keep it with pencil. So you have some options. Make sure your name's on the back. This was fun for me. This was something new, challenging. I learned a lot. I hope you did too. And can't wait to see what your self-portraits look like in the end when I collect them from you. And I can't wait to see what your writing turns out to be as well. So good luck, enjoy, and feel free to watch that other tutorial. Feel free to watch this video again and do it on another piece of paper until you have it exactly the way you'd like it. All right, have a good time, and we will see you for the next art video. Oh, one more thing. Make sure your name is on the back. You paper clip your finished product with all the other art you have to turn in. Bring it to the next material drop-off, pickup date, and make sure you put all of your art supplies and school supplies away where they go. You are in charge of cleaning up your workstation. Thank you and have a fun time.